Okay, everybody wants to know, should you or should you not take AP Spanish?
Yes.
How is AP Spanish different than other Spanish classes you've ever taken?
Well, other Spanish classes are like really technical with a lot of grammar, and that's all great and it prepares you for AP Spanish, but AP Spanish is like applying all of the grammar that you've learned. So in culture and other things like that.
And getting to read a lot of different types of literature and watching different videos and finally being able to like understand what they're saying and what they mean.
And you use a lot of different resources and multimedia to really like apply yourself and actually be involved in learning about different cultures.
Okay. How many APs typically do you take? The typical Spanish AP student, just so parents might know. How many do you have, Clarita?
4.
4?
I have 4.
Abby has 4.
6.
6?
Yeah.
Okay. Anum, how many are 4? Alejandro? Alejandro, why did you take AP Spanish?
Honestly,
Yes?
No, why?
Yes.
I mean,
Do you think there's a reason for a person who already speaks Spanish to take AP Spanish?
I thought it would be fun because so like everyone interacts like in Spanish.
Uh-huh.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
Good. How does the workload for Spanish impact your senior year?
Minimally.
Yeah,
Very,
the
yeah.
workload is really good because we do so much in class that integrates so many different things that outside of class we only have to do a little bit of extra reading or writing or whatever else we're doing. So it's a good amount of workload.
Okay. What do you feel is the most frustrating about knowing that the test involves grammar and listening and reading and also a lot of culture?
It's a little overwhelming to think about all of the tasks that you're going to be given on the AP exam and thinking like, oh, well, I'm going to have to just remember some very specific thing about some specific culture. But I feel like this class really makes us feel comfortable, like giving us so much practice that when we get to the AP exam, we're going to remember having a 45-minute discussion about this one thing, and we're just going to be able to do well on that part.
And you don't need to know everything. You only need to know a handful of things, and you can pretty much apply it to whatever question it is.
Yeah, and if you're paying attention in class and doing what you're supposed to, it's a really good class. You learn, you're really prepared for the exam.
Okay, so all of you felt like you weren't disadvantaged by coming into AP Spanish?
No, I'm really happy.
Yeah, I'm so happy I did it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Does anybody have a last-minute piece of advice for people deciding, should I take AP Spanish or not?
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good
Just do
decision.
it. Also,
It's a
colleges
good
will
decision.
love you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you get a good score on the exam, it'll count for a lot of credits.
Yeah.
you can
That's right.
use those in college.
And it makes you more competitive.
And you earn money.
Yeah, you're
Also-
competing in a
Right.
varsity sport.
Also, regular Spanish will make you kind of feel like useless, like, oh, I hate this class. But AP Spanish kind of like makes you, but AP Spanish makes you feel like, oh, I'm really applying myself. I feel connected to these people, it'll make you feel like a deeper sense of appreciation.
Yeah, when you legitimately get to use it outside of class, that's where it's the most. That's why I'm taking it, is because when you are able to communicate with someone that speaks a completely different language than you grew up speaking, it's a really powerful thing that you're able to communicate with someone you'd never be able to communicate with otherwise.
It also opens so many doors for the things that you can do, where it's like all of us, now that we've taken AP Spanish, if we want to study abroad in a Spanish-speaking country in college, we don't have to be frightened by not being able to communicate with the people there, and it allows us to make so many more connections that we wouldn't be able to otherwise.
And not to mention it looks great on applications for jobs or college applications. Fantastic, especially if you eventually become fluent. That's
And AP
great.
Spanish is going to help you way more than any other on-level class to become fluent in Spanish because you apply all of your Spanish so much more and to such a greater extent.
Well, thank you very much for sharing the real truth about AP Spanish. I appreciate it very much.